Hello and welcome. A try and fly with an aircraft that probably 95% of all streamers have already been using for weeks and months. Well, I take a little bit longer and I'm finally now going to give the PMDG 737 a bit of a chase and see how it is, if it is like I'm used to with PMDG, and if it works and does the job as it's intended to be. So that's what we're going to look at today. No, I haven't read the manuals, and in case you're expecting a tutorial and all the explanations about the PMDG 737, that's not the kind of video. So if you need tutorials, there are other sources, at least for the moment. I do plan some kind of a tutorial series with the 737 in general, not so much Msfs, but actually over the simulators. But yeah, I'm still working on that. So, the PMDG 737. Good looking aircraft. Quite a crafty thing of precision manuals or PMDG to do. Bring out the 737-700, the one aircraft that most of us probably wouldn't have bought immediately if the 800 that we were all waiting for would have come out. Well, it's the 700, so we have to live with it, but at least, and for me that is actually a bonus, they also added the freighter version of this aircraft, and that is definitely something that I like, because I'm more of a cargo kind of pilot than ferrying passengers. Right, so let's switch views. And well, what should I say? I mean, the modeling is fantastic. It's really good. Yeah, you can see, by the way, that this is a Boeing converted freighter, BCF. That means it used to be a passenger jet, and then Boeing did convert it. You can see this, the big door. I can't bring out the FMC here to open up the door from outside, so I'll have to jump into the cockpit. We'll do that in a moment, and I'm going to open the door and I'll show you how it looks like. Yeah, again, really fantastic modeling. Definitely what I definitely what I would expect from PMDG. Ah, come on. Okay. We are in buildings here. Yeah, jump. Okay. So. Yeah. And there is also a little bit of infrastructure around the aircraft, like in the prepared versions of PMDG. I can tell you already there are some differences as well. There are some features that are not available. There are some functionalities that are not available. If you expect things that you get with the NGU, which by the way I don't have, you won't get everything that you have in the PMDG NGU 737 NGU on prepared. Not yet, at least. There's also, as far as I know, there's no integration with SimBrief and Navigraph and the likes yet. There's no EFB. So it is a relatively basic startup sort of development of PMDG. They're claiming that the SDKs are not complete, and therefore, and the Zobo, and we know that all, they change so much. I already am not looking forward to towards the end of August when they put out the new Sim Update 10. This is going to be not only a huge undertaking because I have to download 37 gigabytes, which takes pretty long for me, so a couple of days that I can't use the simulator. yeah, who knows what is broken after that. So we'll probably have to update most of our aircraft after Sim Update 10 again and hope that everything works. But then, so many things are supposed to have been improved in Sim Update 10. I mean, if you produce 37 gigabytes of update, you could think of that. It would it would really fix a lot of things. For example, the viewing system they want to revise. We shall see. And that means then finally we're going to see the 800. Oh no, I heard it's the 600 that they're going to bring out next. Maybe I've misheard that. Anyway, let's have a look at the cockpit. Slightly unrealistic, but I'm not sure if this is the simulator. You hear nothing of all the noises around the aircraft inside the cockpit. It's like absolutely quiet when you're in the dark, cold and dark mode. I would have thought that you should hear something. Let's see if we open the window. Okay. No, you can't open the window in the PMDG. So it's very quiet. And I'm just checking. Okay, let's see if my joysticks are all. Oops. Yeah. By the way, like in the original on prepared, you can bring the yokes up and down instead of turning them off completely. You can move them down. I think this is a good solution. I also like it on prepared. Yeah, and also the modeling in here is as good as you would expect it. What is a little bit, it doesn't come sort of to the same standards is the click spots. I do have difficulties at times to switch switches because it's probably done the Microsoft way, the Asobo way, and it can be difficult to move some of the switches. Yeah, so it's sometimes a bit hard, especially when the aircraft is in movement or so. That's why I turn all these kind of movement thingies off, head shakers and all that. So sometimes it's a bit difficult to hit click spots. It's not bad, but yeah, I was fiddling around with click spots here in this aircraft as well. Although there are much worse ones, so I'm fine with what we have here. So, yeah, it's the usual high standard. We do not have a cabin, or we also do not have this is a freighter, so obviously you wouldn't have passengers in the cabin. But PMDG has at least not yet implemented the cargo part. At least not that I've been able to find it. You could probably move into it from the outside, but yeah. Yeah, and there's no EFBs like it used to be now with all the expensive add-ons that you buy. And I have a feeling when we are done with the 737, the whole lot of them, we probably have spent a lot of money on the PMDG. That's something I'm not sure what I should think about that. Well, and the fact that I have to wait for the 800, for the one model that we really all want, doesn't make me happy as a customer. Okay. Still, I'm glad that we finally got a 737 from PMDG, and yes, it's so much better than the crap that came out about a year ago. I don't even want to take the name into my mouth of the 737 Max, I think it was a Max, yeah. That was what a yeah. So this is real. This is good work. This is quality stuff. You can see it. And what I will do now is, with all the knowledge of my 737 years here in the simulator, I'm going to try and fire it up and see if I can get everything to work easily. So, first thing is the electrical power up. So what we do is first we turn on the battery. Can already hear some things. Checking the battery load and the battery power. It's 23. It's supposed to be 24, so it could be that they simulate also wear on the battery. That means we shouldn't wait too long with getting some external power turned on. Is this off, on or off? This is on. Strange cold and dark where we leave the galley power on. Okay, ground power. Now, in order to get the ground power, what you need to do is you need to go to the, and whoever is in prepared and has PMDG there knows this one here. There's FS actions, and then we go to ground services. The wheel chocks are set. They need to be set so that you can do request the ground power. There are actually two options. There's a real card, or there is a direct connection in the ground, which is also available in many airports. That instead of having to card on some diesel generator, you get connected directly in a socket in the ground. So let's request the ground power. So someone out there attaches it now, and that means we have ground power in a moment. There we go, and we'll put the switch down. Yeah. Now, what I should have done before all that is, and I haven't done this now because I'm not running through a full procedure, I should have checked the flaps, the wipers, just to make sure that we don't scratch our windscreens and that nothing starts moving, the hydraulic settings so that we don't automatically get hydraulic power up just because we turn everything on. So I haven't done that. That would be if I run really full procedures. So let's have a very quick run through here. So fuel pumps are off. Then let's check the ground power. Yeah, it's on. So we see 402. This is AC power, by the way. Ground power is not DC. It's AC power. Then, okay, you see the wipers, they're off. And the position light are already on steady, so there are some interesting things when you use cold and dark. So I have a feeling that the cold and dark settings, some things are already set in the cold and dark for whatever reasons. Okay, now let's continue here. Turn this on. Now yeah, let's put these two into auto mode. Attend. Well, I would be surprised if someone comes in a cargo plane with a ground call that would notify the ground personnel to talk to us, but all that, yeah, nothing will happen here. Okay. I'm going to turn the window heat on. Okay, before we do this, normally what we should do is, actually, let's go a little bit more like this. So, oh yeah, and let's have a look at the doors, because we need the cargo main door, which is the big one out there. Here we go. There are even carts in there. And I have a feeling, I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that when you change the weights like the payload, I may mix this up with the iFly converted freighter, but we shall see what happens when we change the weights. If this is actually dynamic here, and you can see more or less crates in there. So cargo door, open hatch, cargo forward, cargo aft, equipment hatch. Okay, we wouldn't do anything with that. Then we go to ground services again. So portable water lavatory, maintenance van, fuel truck. So I could actually now, so this is in pounds. Why is, I thought I had set this in kilograms. Oh, this is all in pounds. Oh yeah, so we need to do some setting up. Hang on. PMDG, options, no, hang on, aircraft. Is it equipment? Okay, here you can switch many things, like 15 pages of options here, which is I think enough to to keep you busy with this aircraft. It's Autoland capable, company cost index is 18, yeah, then what have we? V1 callouts, bank angle, so this is all default. I haven't really changed any of that. Airspeed low or show water in cyan, ETOPS, yes, no, well, yeah, ETOPS operation, ETOPS cargo fire system. It's all options that you can change. Default transition altitude, I'm in Europe and in Germany, so let's put this to 5,000. And the default transition level, same thing. Maximum fixed pages, 6 to 700 spectrum. Oh, there are many interesting little options. I was actually looking for kilograms and pounds, must be somewhere else. Standby instruments, yeah, you can switch between the combined one or you get the kind of individual 3 standby instruments. Yaw damper gauge is off here, okay. Probe heat, carbon brake. So these are carbon brakes, but probably more modern. LED lights, so we are quite modern here. Cabin layout is freighter, yep. Eyebrow windows, no, who wants those? Wi-Fi antenna, no, we don't need that. Yoke checklist captain, yeah, headrest. So there's some options in auto ignition, okay. Displays, no. Probably in options. Simulation, 7 pages. Have a look. Oh yeah, IRS options. You can say realistic, fast, or instant. I have the fast, which is not immediately there. It's okay. You can put this to instant if you don't want to wait. So, engine oil, think captain. Yeah, I usually turn something like that on because there's no point having to reach over and turn knobs on the baro or on the minimums. I mean, you can turn that off if you don't want that. Realistic autopilot engagement, show thrust lever position. Yep, I turned that on because oh yeah, maybe doesn't show it yet. Show thrust lever position, yes. Auto throttle manual override, never. High idle in flare. Okay. Call out airspeeds alive, yes, no. Let's turn that on. Call out V2. Oh yeah, when I did some first tests, it didn't call me the V2. I like having the V2, don't know why. Pause at top of descent. Oh no, please not. Auto, oh yeah, auto time compression up to 4 times. So there is an auto cruise mode or auto time compression mode. I like that one for long distance flights. Offline, obviously. Autopilot disco on control input enable. That can be a bit of a bummer. I'm going to turn this off because, yeah. Yokes move when lowered. No, I don't really care. So, and steering hardware type rudder only. Okay, so with the rudder you do the steering. That's fine. Performance, here you can fine tune a little bit if your performance is sort of under problem. Yeah, let's go back to aircraft and so why didn't I see the weight units? What have I missed? Rising runway. Yeah, all these options here. Track up, VSD. Oh my god. Yeah, so you can spend a lot of time with all these fancy options. You can actually save. Ah, here we go. That took a moment. Yeah. Fuel low alert below 900 kilograms. Yeah, let's do it 450. Fuel total display, yes. Kilograms, FCS indicator, brake indicator. Okay. If it's like on prepared, it is actually possible to save this. Load from another. Restore original. Return to setup. Startup state, aircraft. So how was that? Was it? I think it saves it on its own. That's the way it looks. Okay. So I'm hoping the next time I start it, I don't have to do it again. We're now on kilograms. That's good. So let's go back to FS Actions. And here's the autocruise, by the way. Ground maintenance, if you have some kind of failures. Oh no, don't start this crap. Msfs. I hope it doesn't start doing this now repeatedly. We had this issue before. Fuel. Okay, so we have 2,600 kilograms. That is a little bit on the low side. So I'm going to put in, let me think, I will put in 5 tons. So it gives us a nice margin. It's a very short flight, but I don't want to end up with a low fuel indication. Payload. Yeah, that's. Let's put it on empty. And now the interesting thing will be, it works like this. See, the box is gone. That's very good. So it fills up the aircraft depending on what you put up here. Let me put in some at least basic load of, let's say, 5 tons, so that we are not completely. CG 22.7. Zero fuel weight is exactly 40 tons. Load level is 28.4%, so we are very light, which probably also has an effect on the behavior of the aircraft, I would think. There is a pushback option. So you could actually use the built-in option. I have something else, but I'm not going to use it now for this. I'm going to try it with this here. I think it's, hang on, no, it wasn't 85 meters. I use a tool called Pushback Express. Now, Pushback Express is from FS to Crew, and FS to Crew, it came out last year. I wasn't really impressed at all from the initial version. I actually hated it. It was not much better than the whole pushback tools we get. We have this really good pushback tool, which normally, but I have disabled it so that I don't get problems with FS to Crew. We have this really nice tool that is up here in this function bar here, and it's like better pushback in X-plane, where you can visually place your aircraft where you want it, and that works really well. But at the moment I'm kind of giving Pushback Express a second chance. So what I will do is I will very quickly start Pushback Express, and the reason is I need to measure I need to measure how far this is, and for that this tool has actually this interesting feature. So I can put in a distance in meters, and then let's see, 85. Yep, 85. I think 85 will do. That's all I use it for. I'll turn it off again. Just wanted to see how much approximately I have to use. Okay. The push out will be a standard turn nose to the right. Yes, so we are on the cargo apron on the south. We are facing south. We want to taxi to the west, meaning our nose has to turn right 90 degrees. Okay. Distance to taxi line 90. Why? Hä? Hä? Ah, well. Don't ask me why I can't change the distance anymore. That's a bit strange. Cross the T. What's cross the T? None. Push style none. Self-drive. Ah, straight out. Let's try that again. 85. Loop. Standard left degrees. Okay then. We shall see how that pans out later on. So we got fuel, we got payload, and that means we can now go and initialize the route. Menu, FMC. AirRack data is current. Position in it, so we are in Echo Delta Delta Sierra. We are at gate 105. Let's see if that is working. Yes, it is. 12.4. I have already done the alignment. Or hang on, have I? No, I haven't actually. Nav. I did some experiments before, and that's why I tried the alignment. So we need to position in it. There we go. So the 12.4 is the correct one. You can use this. And that's the alignment. Let's go to the route. We are flying from Stuttgart to Munich. Flight number is T1. And we're going to use the usual route via 07 up Tafo Hotel. Next. Then Rixet, R-I-X-E-D, direct. Then Yankee 161. Until Rida, R-I-D-A-R. Very good. Then I go to the arrival. ILS 08 left, nothing else. Legs. MAGAT, close discontinuity, activate, execute, the route is in, and that's what properly implemented FMCs look like. Not the crap that Ohoh has standard-wise, because I wouldn't have been able to enter this flight plan. Good. Performance in it. Yeah, as usual, zero fuel weight, that's it. So zero fuel with 40 with 5.1 tons. Did I not say 5 tons? Who knows? V2 cost index is 35 usually on this round. Flight level 140. Transition altitude, I thought I had changed this. Maybe I have dreamt that I made this change, or maybe I had to press another button to save this. There are some performance init requests. I'm not sure what it's doing. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm doing a very quick and simple setup here. We're going to just take takeoff 1. No selected temperature, nothing. Yep, 93.1. The usual takeoff. Flaps 1. The CG, it puts in the trim 474. And that's 100, 700, 9, and 120. And we're done with the setup. 4.74. I think it has already set this the way it looks. Okay, so progress-wise, that means we'll end up with around 4 tons in Munich. Yep, top of climb in 14 nautical miles. Looks all pretty good. Look, what was that? We have these interruptions in the sound. I'm not sure what that is. So let's quickly set up the mode control panel here. 72. Flight director on. What was V2? Hang on. Well, in it 120. So I take V2 plus 10. .072 for Stuttgart. Then we climb directly to flight level 140. And second flight director on. Okay, then go through the steps to fire up the aircraft. So we have the ground power, so the next thing we need is actually the APU. So we're going to turn on the anti-collision lights. And what is strange is I did not move it into the start position, but I already get a fault and a light, so I am not sure why we see this. Let's try that again. Go away. Okay, that looks good. Or does it? Okay, the light comes on. Fine. And come on, APU. There we go. Good. The battery, by the way, is 28 volts, so we're now getting charged. The battery is getting charged. Okay, let's bring it on the bus. APU is on the bus. We can now go and disconnect the ground power, go to ground services, and we say release. And we also release the stairs. I've actually hadn't called for the loader. There's a possibility to call for a loader. Aha, now everything is in kilograms. That's good. So it has remembered my setting. Let's quickly check. Yep, the door is still open, so we need to also close that door. Close the main cargo door. Okay. I think that should be... Yeah, all doors are closed now. We have to take away the chocks, so I'm going to set the park brake. And then I go to the ground services. And I say removed. Which now means that we should... yeah, so everything is away. So we are basically ready to go. I hope. Alright then. Let's turn on the rest of the fuel pumps. The EPU generator is fully there. We also need now the auto. Yep. Then we need hydraulic power, so I'm going to turn on one of the electric pumps so that we're not rolling away. Hopefully that gives us enough. We need to set this to 14,000, this to 1250. Okay, auto. Anti-collision light is on. Starter, let's use the left one today. Cockpit to ground. So now we need to get the pushback prepared. And for that we go in here, return, pushback. So chocks are removed. Standard left nose, return. So how do you start this then? Select TAC. Aha, so it's a TAC, a TPX 200, whatever that is.
Cockpit to ground.
Start.
Look to the left. Release brake, please.
Did he say set?
Brakes released.
Brakes released, yeah.
Brakes released, here we go.
There we go. And we start engine number 2. See if my measurement with Pushback Express worked out. Starter cutout. Whoops. No. Number 1.
Pushback complete. Parking brake set. Brake set.
Well,
Steering pin is pulled.
nah. Okay. That wasn't perfect. I think I will use the lovely freeware that we have here again, because all these other tools with the measurement of so and so many meters, they just simply don't work out. It's so hard to actually know what you should put in as values. A lot of trial and error, basically. All right then. After start items. Let's see. CPU off. Yeah, it's sometimes hard to find the click slot for the knob. So I keep clicking and nothing happens because I'm not exactly there. I mean, this is probably the simulator. It's just the way it is. Okay, then flaps 1. Speed brake is in. I didn't do all the fire test stuff. Then auto brake. VNAV, LNAV. All right. Yeah. I think we are ready. So, and off we go. There's a lot of in-op items I discovered. Small things that for some reason are in-op. So for example, we have only one of the two displays. The VR2 seems to be or the ADF2. Yeah, okay, so this aircraft doesn't have a second one. Second ADF. That's why. Probably. Turn on the taxi light? No, I didn't. Now I have. The mini Boeing. Oh, what was that? Bit of right. Okay, let's go to the strobes on. Whoever sits in the back. Then transponder. Yep. Yep, I think I'm done. Okay, we also need to arm the auto throttle and line up. What's going on? Oh, was the parking brake not set? Okay. Yeah, we have two separate FMCs, as you would expect. Actually, I didn't really go through the climb and cruise settings. Let's quickly do that. Target speed 250. Let's see if we can change that. Execute. Cruise. Target speed also 250. Execute. Yep. Descend. Target speed /250. Yep. Works. Nice. Forecast. I thought I set the default, but somehow it didn't take it. I think it can get the wind from something like active sky or so, but I'm not sure if this is implemented here, so I need to read the manual at some point to find out. Anyway, line up. Just in Stuttgart, by the way, in case you wonder. Okie dokie. Is there a click spot? Ah yeah, I think that's the click spot for the takeoff power. So instead of me having to kind of grab this button, at least on prepared, this would be the click spot for the power. So let's see, I'm putting it on like between 40 and 50, and then I click on the click spot, and yes, that's it.
Airspeed's alive.
Check.
80 knots.
Check.
V1 take. V2. Positive rate of climb.
Clear up. It's easy to follow the flight director, unlike other airplanes I know, but this can be quite a job because it kind of doesn't react the way you would expect it. Flaps up. Transition altitude. And command A. So flaps are up. This is new with Msfs. I get these outages on the sound, so it's not the only aircraft where I experience that. Okay, because I have hardware, looks like I cannot bring this into the off position. Alright. Okay. Interesting. Maybe I have to find a setting for that, because in prepared that actually works. Yeah, we're quite light, so our climb rate is quite high. We are already at 14,000 or flight level 140. Yeah, and it reduces speed to 250. Now if you look at the engine instruments, that's the thing that I've set in the settings. You see there is a blue line here, and that's the position of my throttle levers that I'm just moving. So especially on landing, what I can do is I can actually move the levers so that they are in sync with the engine setting, so that you don't start jumping in speed or something. Okay, yep, flaps are up, everything is in again. So I'm going to quickly put on the dome light, because now I'm going to show you that aircraft in the dark. So everything looks normal. Let's quickly turn off the dome light. Yep, that's what it looks in the dark. That's quite nice. Nice. So, back to the brightness. Right, frequencies 109.5. Just want to see if the Autoland works. We do that for both radios, because we need both tuned to the same. 50. Then 80. The ILS 08 left approach. Very good. So far, everything is smooth and as I would expect it. speed, all that. Let's see if my honeycomb hardware works. Yep. After Bravo, the autopilot switches at least the dials for altitude, heading, and so on. They do work. See, course 1, yeah. Indicated airspeed, well, we can't see that yet, but I would guess that works as well. Yep. And vertical speed, very nice. I'm not sure if the autopilot modes all work, but for me this is actually all I need, really. Yeah, so I can't get the so we still have some time. I'm going to give it a try and see if I can get options simulation. Maybe there's something where I can get the gear off even with hardware. Service space, sync. Doesn't look like it. Not here. Let's see, aircraft equipment. Oh yeah, by the way, there is a head-up display which is not activated here, but you can turn that on, and then you actually do have a heads-up display. Nice. Well, that's not what I was after. I just saw it now. Yeah, that's always the problem with hardware. Different hardware behaves differently. The honeycomb now continuously sends the up command, it seems, so I'm not getting it moved, and for some reason PMDG has not put in the logic to bring this into the off position, which is not really realistic. So I either have to turn off my hardware, that's one possibility, or I have to live with it not being in the off position. But for realistic flying, this should actually be turned off. It's not good. Total. So we're still fine. Let's have a look at the top of descent in 11 nautical miles. Okay. Let us dial in the 5000 and then see what happens in VNAV. We do get the VNAV path. We're going to land with auto brake 1 and flaps 30, meaning 116 as our reference speed. Okay, we're on the descent. So far so good. Now let's see if the descent works out. Yeah, looking good. I mean, there will be fluctuations, but in the end we should be on 5000 shortly before MAGAT, and then everything is fine for our ILS approach. I can also bring out the displays. So I have my usual setup of external. My usual external, I can quickly show you that here. So you can see all the displays on a second screen, and then I can also put them into OBS. That works really good. Which is also good for me, because even if I have views like this, I mean, if I turn on those displays for you, I can't see them on my screen. This is only visible in the video. So for me, the instruments on the second screen above my main screen, that's the one that I'm flying with, because I can read it easily, and I have also my little nav map all on that screen. I'll show you that as well. So this is what this looks like, and that's perfect for me. I remember that in the initial phase, I think you couldn't bring out the displays in the initial version, but yeah, they fixed that one. 10,000. Oh, I actually forgot to turn off the lights anyway. Let's prepare. That's what I mean. It's hard to. Well, the switches, they usually end up somewhere. 1450. The radios are set. We haven't got reception of the ILS yet. There it is, IMNE 80. See that here now. Yeah, it's great fun to have an aircraft that does what it's supposed to do. No surprises. Some people might think it's boring, but to tell you the truth, with so many aircraft, especially in Msfs and quirky behavior, This can be really, yeah, I hate it, to be honest. If you have to work around the deficiencies of especially payware add-ons, it isn't really fun. So this so far is good, and it will definitely be one of the aircraft I'm going to use more often. I do like the fly-by-wire, and it's getting better and better with every release, which is great. I got myself actually the FS2 Crew. There was a big sale on FS2 Crew, so I got the FS2 Crew for fly-by-wire. Well, I want to have a look at it in the next days. It's going to be a Try&Fly, obviously, with it. Yep, 1000. I'm going to arm the approach mode. See what happens. We are lock armed, glide slope armed. You can already see the glide slope. We are still, we are a good bit under the glide slope, but it should be coming in any moment. Also the localizer still quite far to the right, but again should be starting to move very soon. You can see the airport in the distance. And the aircraft is actually decelerating towards the up speed, which is also quite good. I'm going to set the heading now to 080. So we're going to turn any moment. Oh, hang on. Minimums. In some sims and some aircraft, this can be really tedious to get your minimum set. There are some very bad examples of how you should not do it. There we go. We're turning. So localizer is captured, glide slope is captured, single channel, and we're going flaps 1. I'm now manual on the speed, okay. So I have 10 miles, flaps 5. Oh, smooth, everything good. The iFly was a bit difficult to slow down. This one is not as bad. So we do see some slow, so flaps 10.
2500.
Seven miles, gear down. Flaps 15. Oh, we have a failure. You're kidding me, are you? Very important. Don't use this crappy, blimmin' idiotic pause mode here, because on my initial test flight, the 737 started to immediately go down, and when I came out of the pause, I crashed more or less into the ground. This is, and I couldn't recover from it. So don't even think of using it. So what are we going to do now? shoot. Where are the failures here? Aircraft failures. All systems. Oh! Oof. Flaps 30. Command B. So, flaps 30, command B, we are going to arm the speed brake. Is it up? No, it's not. I think it's... no. What the heck is going on here? Uh-oh. No, oh, there's something wrong here.
1,000.
I can't arm the speed breaker, so I'll use it manually. Oh, it is armed now. Ah, it is armed. No, it's out. Speed brake extended. Ah, come on. Didn't see this. There's something wrong with the axis again. Why is this blinking? What does it like? Who knows? So we are on the glide path. Everything looks as it should.
500.
Are the gears extended? Yeah, they are. Okay, flare is armed. Minimums continue. Well, on Autoland you wouldn't have 200.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Good. And reverse. Reverse green. And 70 knots. Manual braking. And the autopilot off. Speed brake is still out and still armed, so there's a problem here with the speed brake axis. I need to check this, but everything worked out. That was a smooth landing. Yep, like it. Should regularly check for updates, because there have been a few now, especially after a sim update. You really must make sure that you have updated the aircraft. Let's quickly clean up here. And we're going to also start the APU. 1, 2, okay. Then flight direct off. Transponder standby. Flaps are in. Well, the speed brake. See this. This is strange. What the heck is that? What you might have to do in such cases is sometimes it just needs sensitivity. Bravo throttle quadrant, sensitivity. Let's have a look. Extremity dead zone. Okay. So why are we jumping like this? I have a feeling that my Bravo there's a defect, possibly. See, we only seem to have half of the. No, dead zone is not what we should do. Neutral. Extremity dead zone. What is that? Yep, I have a feeling there is a problem here with that axis. Yeah, hardware. Can I do anything here to prevent this? In prepared, I can actually set the with FSUIPC I can set the minimum and the maximum value, but I'm afraid that doesn't seem to be possible here. So yeah, I guess I will have to live with this. Apply and save, yeah, and resume. Strange, but that's only in this aircraft, because in the other ones it has worked fine. Nah, well, anyway, let's taxi to a parking position. Parking brake is also a bit weird. I wonder if this is caused by FSUIPC. Yeah, I should probably. I think I'm a little bit fast here with 23. Have I got FSUIPC running? Yes, I have. Exit. Let's see if that. Ah. Oh, looky, looky. That is FSUIPC. Oh, I need to check. I thought I had cleared all the access assignments, but it seems that we still have FSUIPC interfere here. I need it for some programs. I also tested multi-crew experience, and because they claim that they have the PMDG 737. Well, yes, they kind of do, but there are absolutely no procedures. So they have just implemented the basic functionality, and that is quite faulty. So there's a lot of commands that don't properly work. For example, the window heat, it just turns on one of the 4 switches, and There are several functions that just simply don't work as you would expect it. So there's still a long way to go. But I think that multi-crew experience is just all this talking, and it listens continuously on the microphone, and you can't switch that off, because if you switch it off, nothing works. So I can't just run procedures. I need to have the microphone on, and then I get kind of stupid remarks from the virtual co-pilot and commands that I executed that I didn't want to. It misunderstands me a lot. So the sound recognition quality isn't good for some reason. It's painful, I have to say. Otherwise, multi-crew experience would be an interesting alternative to something like FS2 crew. But it is, yeah. Well, they still need to work on the Msfs integration. It's not perfect yet. And especially on aircraft like this here. Okay, APU, yeah, is on. Let's switch over. Taxi lights off. And engine shut down. Right. PMDG. Boeing converted freighter 737-700. Very nice. Nice aircraft, nice add-on. Like it. It is as good as everybody says, and I'm glad that we have at least a few. I mean, the Aerosoft CRJ, I'm not sure whether I will get it or not. It seems to be quite decent. The Mad Dog seems to be quite decent if you like that sort of airplane. So now the 737, obviously the Phoenix A320, but yeah, I haven't yet decided whether I want to spend that kind of money. And I'm also wondering what it will be performance like, because I am on an old setup here, which is not the fastest you can get. But I guess the Phoenix will be entering my hangar eventually in the next couple of weeks, I would guess. I also wait for having time. You know, it's no point buying all these aircraft and then not having time to really fly with them. I mean, I bought the PMDG some time ago, and I just never got around using it really and testing it. So yeah, I think I will work through the aircraft that I have at the moment, and then eventually get to really complex things like the Phoenix, because it is complex. It's a complex aircraft. The Boeing here, I mean, I've been flying with the 737 throughout my simulator life, in real simulators, by the way, as well. And yeah, I just know my way around it. You know, for me, this is a no-brainer, flying in a 737 if it's well done like this here. With the Airbus, yeah, it is simple to fly with an Airbus, but if you have a complex tool with a lot of realism, in order to really make use of this investment that you put into an expensive add-on like this, you need to have time, and you need to really take the time also to learn it. Okay, well, that's the English version of the Try&Fly. There will be a German stream, I'm pretty sure. Probably this weekend, but yeah, we've got this one here now for you to go with. Until next time.